I cannot resist telling a quick story about my mother in 2000 when I was on the ticket. Larry King interviewed her and said, "Mrs. Lieberman, what do you say to your son when he makes a mistake?" And my mom said, "Mistake?"
You know, you need those moments, right? In a big debate, maybe someone will deliver lines like that tonight. They can be spontaneous, they can be planned, but oftentimes they just sort of pop up. The aforementioned Joe Lieberman is with us right now. The former vice presidential candidate, was a presidential candidate as well. Senator, very good to see you in person.
Too, Neil.
Great.
Really great. Thank you. You're looking good.
You are too. I'm curious to what you make of the pressure on candidates to have a moment like you had there.
Yeah, those just happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a way in which I bet every one of the candidates and their teams have pre-scripted seemingly hilarious lines or killer lines.
Right.
But they got to make sure they don't deliver them, if I may use the term of the year, like robots. I mean, it's got to fit into what's happening. And the best way for it to happen is to be a spontaneous reaction to something one of the other candidates said.
Yeah, one of the things that you learned from watching Chris Christie was very good at this. He's an excellent debater. I don't know whether that will improve his likability or not as a candidate, but he's ready to go after Ron DeSantis on his scripted campaign approach, that he's advised by aides and all. What do you think of that?
Well, Christie's going to be, first of all, I think Christie's going to have a good time tonight, and I think it's going to be fun to watch him. But he's obviously got to be more than the prosecutor who prosecutes both Trump and DeSantis. He's got to talk a little bit, hopefully, about what he did.
And sometimes a scorched earth strategy scorches your earth as well.
It does. It does, because in the end, it seems to me that the American people are yearning for a leader who will bring the country together and solve some of our problems. And they don't see that now in President Trump or President Biden.
Now, Donald Trump obviously is not there for this big debate tonight. He might have skewed debates for a while. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that. He can afford to if you look at the polls, but as you've reminded me many times, Senator, polls can be fleeting.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I think he's right not to, or let's put it this way. He can avoid tonight's debate, but he can't do it for long. And there is peril. I'll just tell you a quick story. When I first ran for the U.S. Senate against an incumbent senator, I was way behind in the polls. He totally ignored me until I suddenly, in, I guess, early October, broke even in the polls. Then he came out and he attacked me. And I think the public felt it was forced. And where were you before? So at some point...
So it can boomerang.
It can boomerang. At some point, President Trump has to get in the ring with these people and prove that he is what apparently most Republicans want him to be, which is the leader of the party.
You were saying, and I don't want to give away conversations during the break, but this might be a battle for to see who could be the Trump alternative. All behind Donald Trump by a country mile in the polls. Who do you think that will eventually be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, right now, President Trump is so strong in the polling among Republicans that, barring some real big surprise, you have to say he's the probable nominee. But maybe not if this boils down to Trump against one other. So I think tonight, without Trump on the stage, this is really a competition among the others who are there to see who's going to make it to the finals with
But
Donald
you don't
Trump.
like the way the finals are looking. You're not pleased with the idea that the choice might be exactly what we had in the last presidential election. You've been pushing this idea of an alternative candidate. And are you still looking at that, a third party?
Yeah, this is not just me, although I'm very supportive of it. It's a group called No Labels, which I helped to co-found about 13 years ago.
Like you guys were sort of rallying around a Joe Manchin type.
Maybe. I mean, we spent a lot of time in the last dozen years trying to elect centrist, independent, bipartisan.
But is he your favorite of that potential bunch?
He deserves real consideration. But here's the point. Right now, No Labels is focused on getting on the ballot with a third line in all 50 states. And we're making progress. We're over...
The argument is that they would just siphon votes from...
Yeah, but here's the argument for doing this, and this is why we're doing it, because our members all around the country really asked us to. People are sick and fed up with the two major parties because all they do is fight each other and they don't work together to get anything done for the country. And most voters think that if it ends up in Trump and Biden again, it's going to simply be more of the same, attack, counterattack, not only during the campaign, but the country will be divided by party.
But a third party bid is always uphill, right?
It's always uphill, but I think the country has never seen the anger and disappointment with the two major parties as strong as it is. I mean, there was a poll, I think it was a Gallup poll a while ago, 49% of the American people said that they identify themselves as independents, which was more than the total of Republicans and Democrats. And you ask them, do you want the race to be Trump and Biden again? 75% say they don't want Biden to run again, and 69% say they don't want Trump again. So I understand that historically it's hard to win as a third-party candidate. We're talking about a bipartisan unity ticket, and it may be when we get into next year, hopefully we're on the ballot in the 50 states, that we will say, you know what, this is the time. This is what America wants now. And at a minimum, the American people deserve a third choice between Trump and Biden and more of the same.
We just might see that. Senator, thank you very much. We ran out of time, but an issue I want to pursue that we will pursue right after this